It was supposed to be the happiest time of her life. Emily had the perfect engagement ring on her finger, the kind people admired in magazines. Her fiancé, Richard, was a billionaire with charm, a smile that impressed boardrooms, and a future that promised comfort beyond imagination. Everyone around her whispered how lucky she was, how she had secured a dream life most women only fantasized about. But in quiet moments, when the party lights dimmed and the champagne lost its sparkle, Emily often felt a strange emptiness, like her life was a beautiful house built on hollow ground. One chilly afternoon in a small Canadian town, fate intervened. Emily's car broke down on the side of the road while she was visiting her sister. The winter wind bit through her coat as she stared at the smoking engine. Frustrated and helpless, she dialed a tow truck, but before she could finish, a man appeared from a nearby garage. He was shirtless despite the cold, his muscles dusted with grease, his hands stained with the kind of honest work money could never fake. His name was Jack, and he was a mechanic. At first glance, he was everything her world would have rejected, unpolished, rugged, and struggling. But the way he looked at her wasn't with our calculation. It was as if he saw her, the real Emily, not the wealthy fiancé of a billionaire. Jack had a young son, Noah, a boy with curious eyes and a quiet shyness. Emily met him when Jack offered her a ride home after fixing her car. The boy clung to his father's arm, his world clearly centered on the man who raised him alone. Emily's heart softened in a way she didn't expect. She noticed how Jack's hands, rough from work, were gentle when he adjusted Noah's coat, and how his laugh wasn't the polished laugh of parties, but genuine and warm. Days turned into weeks, and Emily found excuses to stop by Jack's shop. She told herself it was just to check her car, but in truth, she wanted to feel that warmth again. They talked about simple things, snowstorms, childhood memories, favorite meals, and Emily realized she hadn't truly laughed in years until she met him. With Richard, conversations were rehearsed, polished for image. With Jack, they were alive. But reality hit hard. Richard soon found out about her visits. He wasn't cruel, but his voice carried a sharp edge when he reminded her of the life she was risking. Emily, do you really want to throw away a future of security for, what? A mechanic with nothing to offer you but grease-stained hands. His words echoed in her head, but what haunted her most wasn't Richard's anger, it was how empty her future looked, even with all that money. Jack, too, tried to push her away at first. He admitted he didn't believe a woman like her could ever be happy in his world. He was a single dad barely holding things together. He feared she would regret it, that she would leave and break not just his heart, but Noah's too. The pain in his voice made her chest ache. Emily's nights grew restless. She lay awake in her expensive bed, thinking about Jack's laugh, Noah's smile, and the way her heart beat faster when she was with them. One snowy evening, she finally confessed to Richard that she couldn't marry him. It was the hardest decision she ever made, walking away from the life she had been promised. Richard didn't understand, and maybe he never would, but Emily knew she had to choose a life that felt true. The days after were not glamorous. Emily traded diamonds for diner meals with Jack and Noah, silk dresses for flannel jackets, grand parties for quiet evenings watching cartoons on the couch. But for the first time, she felt alive. She learned that love wasn't about the size of the ring or the number in a bank account, it was about laughter, trust, and the comfort of knowing you were exactly where you belonged. Jack never promised her riches, only honesty. And Emily realized that was more valuable than anything money could buy. The billionaire's fiancé had become the mechanic's partner, a mother figure to his son, and most importantly, a woman who finally understood the meaning of love. In the end, Emily's story wasn't about choosing between wealth and simplicity. It was about choosing her heart. And as she watched Noah fall asleep on her lap one quiet night while Jack whispered goodnight, she knew she had found more than she ever thought possible, she had found home. Would you like me to make this story slightly more dialogue-driven so it feels even more cinematic for a YouTube video narration?